Rinos Senator Lindsey Graham today, piling on with more criticism of the president, particularly of the president's decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria. Graham says President Trump appears hell-bent on repeating former President Obama's mistakes in Iraq. Figure that one out.
I will do anything I can to help him, but I will also become President Trump's worst nightmare. I will not sit along the sidelines and watch a good ally of the Kurds be slaughtered by Turkey and watch Iran move into Syria and become another nightmare for Israel. This is a defining moment for President Trump. He needs to up his game.
Well, that's quite an opinion, isn't it? During a press conference today, President Trump brushed off the senator's criticism with a scathing response.
Lindsey Graham would like to stay in the Middle East for the next 1,000 years with thousands of soldiers and fighting other people's wars. I want to get out of the Middle East. I think Lindsey should focus right now on judiciary. He ought to find out about what happened with Comey, what happened with McCabe, Lisa, what happened with Peter Strzok, what happened with President Obama, what happened with Brennan. That's what Lindsey ought to focus on. That's what the people of South Carolina want him to focus on. The people of South Carolina don't want us to get into a war with Turkey, a NATO member, or with Syria. Let them fight their own wars. They've been fighting for 1,000 years. Let them fight their own wars. The people of South Carolina want to see those troops come home. And I want an election based on that. And that's the way it is.
The way it is, and we could even broaden it. 49 other states, folks there also want those troops home. Joining us tonight is former Reagan White House political director, Fox Business political analyst, leading Republican strategist, the savant, Ed Rollins. Let's start with the president. I mean, I don't know what it takes. Who does Lindsey Graham think he is threatening the president of the United States? He's going to be his worst nightmare? I mean, what kind of language is that from a two-bit senator?
He's one senator. He's one senator out of 100 in the minority. And he's, as the president said, chairman of an important committee that he wanted. And he should do the things the president laid out there.
He doesn't even do the things he promised, Lindsey Graham. Right. He said he was going to investigate. He has had 0 hearings, is 0 investigations. He's done nothing to get to the truth of Spygate, of this outrageous radical Dem effort to overthrow the president of the United States.
Well, there's plenty for him to do if he wants to do it. Apparently he doesn't. So my sense today is the president gave a good speech. My issue, as I told you earlier, I would not have had the meeting at 5 o'clock today. When the House voted 354 to 60, I'd have canceled it and say, thank you very much, I'll send you a letter. He's explained and will explain again his policy on Syria. He's right in the sense of the Middle East. The timing may not have been the best, but at the end of the day, he had to do it, and he did it. And I think to a certain extent he's warned Aragon now, and he's got the Vice President and the Secretary of State going there today to reinforce that warning, that basically you don't do the right thing.
How do you feel if you're President of the United States and you're sitting there, you're trying to talk about foreign policy and doing the right thing? 57% of Republicans support him in this most recent poll in withdrawing our troops, and I believe the number is far higher than that across the country. And you're looking at a man, men and women, who have just voted for a resolution opposing your decision to withdraw our troops from a foreign war 7,000 miles away. The president, it's indisputable what he said. It isn't our war. We were not supposed to be there. It was supposed to be resolved. But that's true of every place we put troops. We've got troops in all sorts of capacities around the world.
Well, equally as important, the night of the Democratic debate last night, in which all 12 candidates began for the first 20 minutes telling why they should impeach the president. Democrats clearly are laying out their agenda, which is to impeach the president, which they're going to be able to do. No, let me finish. I would think our own party would want to defend that. And I think to a certain extent, the Republicans who voted today in this as a matter of principle or whatever, the matter of principle.
On the resolution?
Right.
There's no principle.
Well, I'm saying the matter of principle has to be to support this president. How would you like to be if every single day you came in here and people who work for you basically were undercutting you? And that's what this whole debate on who can fire ambassadors, who can do what. And you had 2 people on the call, I've said this before, the president and the newly elected president, And both of them said there was no coercion, nothing occurred. Now, why a bunch of staff guys in the White House or in the State Department are saying, oh, my God, this is the worst thing in history. We have to impeach the first president in history.
You're losing me, Ed. You're losing me. We're getting into trouble on time.
My issue is he's being undercut everywhere, and basically his own party has to stand up and support him. This is it. This is very important.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think? I think if we had anyone else in this White House right now, this country would have already rolled over for China. We would be engaged in Syria. We would have these daffodils putting our troops God knows where. This man is actually doing what he said he would do. He is doing what the people who voted for him wanted him to do. He is changing decades of stupidity and ignorance on the part of our foreign policy establishment, getting our troops the hell out, and I commend him highly.
Well,
I hope you do too.
I do.
Okay.
Like I said, so let's. But equally as important, though, they got to support him now. This is very, very critical. These next.
Hell, you think these guys? You know, I mean, I'm talking to the chief, the whip of the minority, Steve Scalise. He doesn't seem to understand how important his support is in every context here. It is it's a menu. My God, I can't even believe this nonsense. Ed,
thank you.
I always believe you, though.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Ed Rollins, the savant.